Trait theory is a unique leadership theory that suggests no organizational hypothesis, and it is not centered around organizational practices, but rather focuses on the leader, specifically the leader's DNA. Thus, the idea of the great man theory, or super leaders, have evolved. That leaders are somehow these bigger than life superheroes. The idea of a super leader came to the forefront as early as the 1940s. Stockdale, 1948, implies there is a vast difference between leaders and non leaders. This theory has since taken a life of its own, based upon the fact that leaders attribute or exhibit certain traits.
Stockdale's survey in 1948 examined 124 trait studies. His findings indicate that individuals do not become leaders because of their traits, but because of relevant situations. The main traits that he finds are intelligence, alertness, insight, responsibility, initiative, persistence, self-confidence, and sociability. Stockdale's second survey reveals that there are 10 characteristics associated with leadership, which are responsibility and task completion, vigor, persistence to pursue goals, risk-taking, originality and problem-solving, being social in situations, self-confidence, sense of personal identity, accepting consequences, dealing with interpersonal stress. In 1959, Mann conducted research in small groups. He examined 1,400 findings on traits and leadership. His findings indicates that strong leaders have 6 traits. Masculinity, intelligence, adjustment, dominance, extroversion, and conservatism were the strongest traits. Using a meta-analysis framework to reassess Mann's theory, Lord DeVater and Alliger in 1986 found that the 3 most important traits of leaders are intelligence, masculinity, and dominance. At the time of where male leadership is the norm in the American business, their findings were proven to be true. In 1991, Kirkpatrick and Locke found that leaders are not like all other people. They used a qualitative analysis to prove their point that the most important 6 traits of leaders are drive, motivation, integrity, confidence, cognitive ability, and task knowledge. Zaccaro, Kemp, and Bader found that traits and leadership are associated with social intelligence. They identified 12 key traits of leaders, which are intelligence, cognitive abilities, extroversion, consciousness, emotional stability, openness, agreeableness, motivation, social intelligence, self-monitoring, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving.
Although the commonalities of trait leaderships have evolved over time, there are 5 commonalities that have stayed consistent. Intelligence and self-confidence are the first 2. Think of Superman. He's a leader, right? He's intelligent enough to defeat the bad guys, but self-confident enough to do it while wearing tights. It's difficult to follow any man wearing tights if he isn't confident. The next attribute is determination. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes hard work and dedication to reach large-scale organizational goals. Strong leaders use their time wisely and are productive with their proactiveness. Eric Thomas said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. The last 2 of the 5 common traits are integrity and then sociability. These intangible attributes are often overlooked. The research suggests that leaders lead by example and take a proactive approach in which the followers or subordinates follow in order to help facilitate the organization's mission.
The 5-factor personality model, also known as the Big 5 personality factors, indicates that there are 5 personality traits that are most important to effective leadership. Those include extroversion, consciousness, openness, low neuroticism, agreeableness.
Within the scope and realm of trait theory, there's a concept of emotional intelligence. When you think of emotional intelligence, think Daniel Goleman. He's successfully been writing books since 1995 about the effects of emotional intelligence has on leadership. Leaders with high levels of emotional intelligence are very self-aware of themselves, their abilities, and the abilities of others. They know how to manage through diverse circumstances and are socially aware and have empathy and connect with a wide range of emotional signals that they feel from others. Their relationship is they walk with integrity as well. Researchers like Daniel Goldman and others have put more emphasis on having stronger emotional intelligence, which allows people not only to perceive the information that they're intaking, but also know how to evaluate and how to use it to better lead and manage through situations.
The strengths of trait theory include that there is lots of research to back it up and makes it credible. It focuses on the leader's traits rather than the followers in the situations. It provides us with guidelines so we know what to look for in leaders. It is also appealing and fits with the notion of what society is expecting of an organization. Weaknesses of trait theory include it does not provide an exact list of leadership traits. It does not take situations into account. There is too much research making it hard to understand what the most important leadership traits are. It fails to look at traits in relationship to leadership outcomes. And lastly, it does not provide an approach for training and development of leaders. There are several leadership instruments that you can utilize to measure traits and their relationship to leaders. The first one is the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. There's also the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And lastly, the Leadership Trait Questionnaire, which assesses leadership characteristics and determines your strengths and weaknesses.
Research suggests that one of the best ways to test emotional intelligence is through the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator test. The original researchers, Myers and Briggs, have developed a test of using seemingly random events put to place together and judge or evaluate how leaders can make a cognitive decision to make them make sense of each other. Although trait theory has drastically changed over the years, it holds to its core values that leaders are intelligent, self-assurance, and willing to do whatever it takes to be successful in life. It is their cognitive ability to develop their leadership abilities into something great, which sets them apart from followers.